Hello everyone! Today is finally the day I have decided to finally make the video of this corset that I've made in the summer of 2019. I actually tried to do this voiceover like 5,000 times, but let's hope it works this time. So let's get into it. You will need a basic black corset, a strong zipper, about 1 meter or 2 puzzle pieces of EVA foam, 2 or 3 rolls of thin crafting foam, a lot of hot glue, and I mean a lot, a heat gun or a hairdryer, a rotating tool, I used a Dremel. Optional, you can use a wood burning tool for the battle damage, a primer, either Mod Podge or Plastidip, and gold spray paint plus gouache metallic paints. Alright, so I start off with this base corset, linked in the description. As you can see, it's the wrong shape for what I wanted, so I am marking off where I want to adjust the shape. And here I am trying to show that it's also the wrong shape on the top part, so I will adjust that later. But for now, this is what it looks like when it's all marked off. I am going to cut around the boning because this corset is boned and I need to make it shorter, so I'm going to cut around it, take out the boning and trim it to size. After I've done that and cut off the excess, I'm going to pin that and just sew that in. You can either hand sew or machine sew this, it doesn't matter. This is what it looks like when it's all sewed. Now after you've done that, you will need to add the zipper. Yes, I'm again explaining that I need to adjust the shape. This was very frustrating. So, here is the marking for the zipper. I'm using this thick, dark colored zipper, so it won't show as well. And I have no idea why I kept that clip in. It's so useless, you shouldn't do that. I got stabbed with the pins, but that doesn't matter, I'm too tired to re-edit this. This is what it looks like when the zipper is sewed. I left a little bit of an excess of the bottom just so I will have enough space to glue on the belt. That's also part of the corset. After I've sewed in the zipper and I have a way to easily get in and out of it, I'm just going to glue down the front clasps with some hot glue. And now for the padding, I'm using frozen themed EVA foam, not mandatory but sure does help. And I'm making these sort of shapes. I am going to smooth them down with my rotating tool later, but I couldn't find that day, so I just glued them on to see. I recommend only gluing them on after you've smoothed them out. And these are the rib parts. I do also recommend making them attached to the breast parts, at least adding some extra foam between them so there won't be such a space. I will add it later, but I didn't know that. And because the front metal clasps are slightly pointy? No, like they have texture, I just added some foam pieces between them. And here I finally found my Dremel, so I'm using, also first, I am using a mask because that's important even in 2019 before we had COVID, but that's fine. So I am using this thick head for the Dremel, and as you can see, this is what it looks like after I've smoothed them out. I've just made them look more like boobs. Yeah. And I have no idea why I didn't get closer to the mirror, but that's fine. I'm taking these general shapes of thin crafting foam and adding that extra height on the top that you need for the movie shape. These don't need to be accurate, you will just glue over them some details later. And now I am painting the foam pieces completely black, so I will have a good base for the details. Now, I'm sorry I didn't film this better, I didn't know better, this was a year and a half ago, but I will try to explain it as best as I can. So, for the details on the entire corset, I'm taking a full roll of crafting foam and trying to press down the corset, which is now can't be flat because I added the padding, but trying to mark out the general shape of it as best as I can. So I will have a frame of where I want to sketch out the details. After I've cut that out, I'm just checking that it fits, and it does fit, so I will go on to sketch out the details. You will see in a bit, I sketched out how I want to do the details on a piece of paper, just so I will have a general idea. Because this is an original design, I took some creative liberties, even though it is heavily based on the movie design. But just do whatever seems right to you. Make sure to take your time with it, and don't get too stressed if you don't get it right on the first time. Crafting foam is cheap, that's why I'm doing it out of crafting foam and not worbla. So this is what it looks like. You can see I also marked off where the belt and the top part are going to be, so I won't go over them. And this is all the pieces cut out. Now here I'm showing you that I am filling the gaps between the ribs and the boobs, so but I didn't fill them correctly, and I will get into that later. But here I am hot gluing it. You can also use contact cement if you find that easier. Any glue that's strong and good will be good, but I personally used hot glue specifically because crafting foam is very thin and heat moldable, so the hot glue helped shape it to stretch it out a bit and shape it to the curves. You will see later, I also need to adjust it multiple times, just cutting off little pieces to make the angle a bit better, but that's fine. I will use modeling paste later to fill out all the gaps, all the scratches that I didn't want. Yes, here is me showing you how I fill the gaps, and now I will show you how I used heat forming to form the pieces to the curves. So this is how I am using this hair dryer. I'm just heating it up. You can also use a heat gun if you have one. I couldn't find mine that day, so hair dryer worked completely fine. Heat it up and just hold it in shape for a couple minutes, even a couple seconds, until it is formed to the shape. Yeah, and here I am very surprised that it actually worked. It was my first time trying this. But after you've glued all of the pieces, this will take hours. So put on like a good show or something, but this will take hours. After you've done with that, I just glue down all the fill out the edges just so it won't peel off or anything. Now I'm marking off where I want the top and bottom part, just to see how I will want to do the pattern later. And this is the pattern. I really recommend for those parts specifically to make a pattern out of a newspaper, just so you will have a general shape and won't waste any foam. And so I'm cutting that out of crafting foam and doing the same on the other side. This does not have to be one coherent piece, because you will both add details later, and it's just way easier to do it when it's on different pieces and you don't have to adjust everything to be one shape. You can see there's the two pieces there's one piece for each side and the eagle on the front. And this is the pattern for the belt. I adjusted it to fit with some masking tape, just ripping the newspaper and getting the shape that I wanted. Now, because crafting foam is very thin and not very durable, I really recommend adding a few extra pieces, some leftovers of crafting foam and a thin cardboard on the inside, just so it will be stronger. Now for the top details, I will try my best to explain. I just cut out some foam lines and just attach them without worrying about making them like complicated pieces, just taking lines in different thicknesses and trying to get that shape that I wanted, sort of according to the movie Corset. And the belt, it's an original design, so I can't explain what I did there because I don't know what I did there. But you can see here, this is the inside after all of the strengthening, just so it won't rip. It's really, you don't need to make it pretty, just take some hot glue and leftovers. And this is a modeling paste I was talking about. Get it if you're working with foam or anything, get this. It's not expensive and it's very useful. I just smoothed out all of the connections. Now with the wood burning tool, I am marking off where I want all of the battle damage and just scratching that in wherever I want it. You can also use a knife here, but I find that the wood burning tool has a really good effect. And here I used Mod Podge for the primer. I used about 3 or 4 layers and spray painted the gold parts. After the spray paint is dry, I'm taking some metallic gouache paints in the colors that I'm showing here and some black acrylic paint and starting off on the painting. I did 1 thin layer of the, well, I think that's 2 layers, yeah, probably 2 layers of the red metallic paint and went in with the black acrylic paint to do some dry brushing and weathering, and it's really not a very complicated process. It's very messy, but it's very fun. This was honestly one of my favorite projects. I miss making. I might actually make it again. I really miss this making this. I might make an actual movie accurate one now. Okay, so now I'm taking the medium gold. I think it's called bronze. Yeah, probably like the mid-tones, and putting that on the high points, whether they're actual high points like the ribs and the boobs, or creating false high points like the abs, like she has on her actual corset. And taking the lightest gold and just patting that inside of those high points. And this is my cat. He helped me so much and so well by trying to eat my brush on multiple occasions. And yeah, this is what it looks like with the base colors all done. Now I'm taking a thin brush and that medium gold paint. I think, yeah, medium shade of gold paint. And going over all the scratches, all of the battle damage, all of the lines, everything that needs to have a little pop. You will see in a bit how it really helps to bring everything together. It's not a mandatory step, but I really find that it adds some extra dimension that you won't get otherwise. Now for the gold parts, I'm just mixing some gold and acrylic and black acrylic paint and going inside, just smudging off any excess to create that depth. And some ASMR. And I left the zipper unpainted, so just so it won't disrupt the movement of it, and just painted the top part with gold so it will blend in better. And yeah, after one last layer of Mod Podge to seal everything in, we are done. Wow, I look so different a year and a half ago. I have long hair now. It's so weird, but it still looks so cool. Oh my god. Yeah, you can see here my original design for the belt. All of the details, you can see all of those extra gold lines really help everything get put together. And this was from about a month ago when I got into my Wonder Woman costume again for a little photo shoot. And yeah, I hope this video helped you if you want to make your own Wonder Woman corset. If you have any questions, please comment them down below. Other than that, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're safe, I hope you're happy and having a good day. Thank you so much for watching, and check out our other videos. Bye!